This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled Chameleons Are Getting Out of Control. Now, my MGTOW brothers, the other day I was watching some content from Taylor the Fiend where he happened to comment about chameleons who are getting out of control. In this particular segment that he had, Taylor the Fiend, he had on Brittany Sellner or Brittany Pettibone or Nola Girl, whatever she calls herself now, who is a known TradCon chameleon. And in this segment that Taylor the Fiend had, Brittany was talking about the same regurgitated issues or knowledge about the issues between men and women. And if you watch some of her content, it is, again, the same regurgitation of the issues. There are no answers to the problems, no effort on her part or on the part of so-called TradCons to resolve the issues. But again, Taylor pointed out that chameleons were out of control. And he, again, did a great analysis of her, of what she was talking about, her rhetoric, all the things that she was saying, and how basically, again, she was coming from the standpoint of being a chameleon. She really did not have solid solutions to the problems, again, between men and women. And basically, I agree with Taylor's assessment. And furthermore, I would encourage all MGTOW men to keep their eyes open to what's going on in terms of chameleon activity. As I've stated before, my brothers, in prior training sessions, that as MGTOWs, we must use our critical thought processes to look at the layers in terms of the state of things. And in doing so, we MGTOW men will find that the reality of the layers will greatly affirm our reasons for following the philosophy, as well as staying away from chameleons in general. Now, when it comes to chameleons, some of the layers that need to be considered are, number one, that all men, no matter their skin color, creed, social status, economic status, are considered as mere resources to the feminist plantation state. Number two, the overall economic condition is becoming worse daily. Food prices, gas shortages, all housing prices are going up, and it is causing women to be more aggressive in terms of finding men who will support them. Number three, more and more women are finding themselves in the position of being at or above 30 years old, unmarried, childless, and no man in sight. Number four, more and more women are finding themselves in the position of being a single mother, again, with no man in sight. And they can be in the state of number three, also being at the wall. Number five, there's been an escalation of the tactical arms race, mainly between white females and black females in terms of getting men entrapped into the Venus flytraps, mainly due to the fact that there is a greater ratio of women as opposed to men. And what I mean by the tactical arms race, what you'll see now is white females are going after other men of other races. So, for instance, you will see white females going aggressively for black men. And the white females know that there is an issue between black men and black women where black women basically treat black men like shit. So they know this, and they are using their chameleon abilities to basically try to deal with black men in a quote unquote loving, caring manner that's better than black women. And so, again, this can lead to black men being fooled into getting into a relationship with a white woman because they think that the white woman is more caring, more appreciative of them, that type of thing. And black women see this also, and accordingly, they are going after white men. And basically, they're using the same tactics. They're approaching white men in a more demure, loving manner, again, which can be something that can fool these men into getting into a relationship with them. Either way, it is very dangerous. Either way you go, my brothers, you still lose. Number 6, there has been an increase of the "you men must open your hearts" rhetoric coming from the feminist plantation state. If you look at some of the content that's going around from some of the dating coaches, relationship coaches, it is always "you men must open your hearts." You got to leave your hearts open to us women. That's the only way the problems can be resolved. There's nothing about doing something about the state laws or the laws of the government to stop things like divorce rate. It's always you must open your hearts. You must be open to us so that we can basically plunder you. That's again number 6, where again you men must open your hearts. Number 7, women are doing everything and anything to get men to talk to them. And it is getting more aggressive. For instance, I had gone to get gas, and I'm standing behind a woman, actually behind a woman in the stall, and she starts asking me, does the particular gas station take cash? I'm like, well, you need to go into the attendant and ask him. And then she starts asking me, what is regular? Is it 87 or is it 93? And I'm like, well, if you gas your car up on a regular basis, you know what regular gas is. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know this, and because it's not labeled that. And I'm like, well, you need to just leave me alone. But she was, again, doing everything she could to talk to me. And I, as a MGTOW man, my mode of operation is I don't talk to women in public. And again, there's another example. I was at work, and white woman, and again, just dealing with the aggression that's happening, happened to come into the aisle where I was working. Good morning. I say hello. She passes back and forth about 4 or 5 times, goes out of the aisle, and then comes back into the aisle again, says good morning to me. And I'm like, hello. And I kept on working. I did not look at her. I did not turn around to face her or anything like that. But it was basically, she was trying to get me to talk to her, get my attention for her. But again, as a MGTOW man, I don't do that stuff. Number 8, there's a direct correlation between the penetration of the MGTOW philosophy in the manospheres in the drop in marriage rates, birth rates, etc., which the Charlie 19 or the COVID-19 pandemic only served to exacerbate the drop in these rates. Again, it did not, that the pandemic did not cause it to happen. It actually caused it to be worse than what it was. So basically, again, this was going on, the drop in marriage rates, the drop in women being able to find men, women being able to have men to give them children. All that began before the Charlie 19 virus. It was actually years before, a few years before it started. Number 9, women who are chameleons have no interest. Oh, sorry about that. Women who are chameleons have no interest in resolving the issues between men and women. Their only interest is in trapping men into their Venus flytraps. Number 10, recent changes in relaxing of the COVID-related restrictions mean that more women will be hunting for male targets. So, my brothers, so the CDC said recently that we can get rid of the mask if you're vaccinated. You can do this and you can do this, blah blah blah. So that means that more venues are going to be opening up, more places are going to be available for women, and accordingly, they are going to come after men. Women are going to come after men more aggressively. Number 11, almost every woman in existence can exhibit chameleon-like tendencies. Women who you don't know, women who you do know, family members, etc. Number 12, the feminist plantation state has only emboldened women to be chameleons, thereby causing them to lose any and every ability to be trusted by men. My MGTOW brothers, the aforementioned layers are why, again, we as MGTOW men must keep our eyes open when it comes to chameleons and their activity. More importantly, we must realize that women these days are chameleons. Most women these days are chameleons. And that is no matter what their race is, their creed, everything, their skin color. My brothers, again, if you're dealing with a woman who is in a Western society, the likelihood of her being a chameleon is very high. And that includes family, that includes friends, past relationships, present relationships, etc. Any woman can be a chameleon. If they're Asian in a westernized society, most likely they can be a chameleon. If they're white, same thing. If they're black, same thing. Any woman can exhibit chameleon-like tendencies because the ability to be a chameleon, my brothers, is a part of their tactical weapon capabilities that they use upon you. That's what that is, my brothers. Again, it has nothing to do with race. It has more so to do with the type of society that we're in, with the type of things that are going on in the feminist plantation state. And again, the factors that I listed above before all of the things that I was talking about in terms of women being chameleons. That, again, women of any race, of any skin color, any creed, can be chameleons. My MGTOW brothers, as well, we MGTOW men must realize that there are different types of chameleons. For instance, in some past, I should say, training sessions, I uh, defined a chameleon called the turnabout intruder, which she's very dangerous because what she will do is bounce back and forth between allegiances. So, for instance, she can be a Republican one day, and then the next day she's a Democrat. And in the process, this type of chameleon causes a lot of devastation. In the future, Infinium training, I will go into some more chameleon definitions and what you can look out for in terms of chameleons. But again, in general, every chameleon, no matter what the type, who is allowed into a MGTOW man's life can cause problems. And it's anything from loss of resources, loss of jobs, to a loss of life. Most importantly, overall, it can lead to a loss of your freedom as a MGTOW man and your ability to walk on the MGTOW road towards your freedom. And finally, my brothers, no matter how convincing they are in terms of their abilities to convince you as a man, as a MGTOW man, otherwise, a chameleon is a chameleon, and that is the stark reality of things. You cannot trust women chameleons because they have thrown away their abilities to be trusted because of their very nature. And for you as a MGTOW man, this not only makes it clear, but it strengthens the fact that there is no benefit whatsoever to either cohabitating with or to marrying women in this day and age. Again, my brothers, the chameleons are out of control. And we as MGTOW men must keep our eyes open to it. Because again, the not only is the arms race getting much worse in terms of what we have to deal with on a daily basis, it is getting to the point of open aggression, where women are basically coming after men. They're coming after them, and they're trying to get men entrapped into their Venus flytraps. And my MGTOW brothers, I'll put it this way: you have worked long and hard to get to the place of where you are today. I've said often before to just open your wallet and take out a dollar bill or whatever you have. Look at your debit card. Look at what that represents, what your wallet represents. And look at what could happen to you if you allow those chameleon tendencies, those things to happen to you, where that is all snatched away from you. Where you decide, for instance, that it is better to be with a single mother with her health spawns. All those things. Look at those things and consider what you're losing. Consider the freedom and abilities that you're losing. And again, my brothers, you will see that the MGTOW philosophy, what it affords you, the freedom, the liberty, the ability to go anywhere and everywhere you want to go in peace and in freedom, has an incalculable price to it. And that is something that you should not even consider losing because it is so important to you. Think about those things, my brothers. Think about all those things that could happen to you if you allow that to happen. If you allow a chameleon to get into your life and devastate you. Think about that, my brothers. And think about again all the wonderful things that can be opened up to you as a MGTOW man as you walk along the MGTOW road towards your freedom. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. My MGTOW brothers, now more than ever, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW road, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.